is Emmi Beuger's Day Off, the weekly opinion and editorial podcast from the Daily Collegian. I'm Emmi Beuger, and I've been so busy this week with all of my activities that I needed a day off to record this podcast at 9 p.m. at night. And joining me today is my producer, Jake.
Hello.
He's back, and he's going to be here forever because we're not letting him leave. And we also have one of our newer columnists, Sophie, on today, who is a freshman here at UMass, and we're really excited to have you on.
Hi. I don't know why I waved. No one can see me. Yeah, hi.
So, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dive right into our discussion for today.
I'm really not a lot to say. I'm 17. I live in Southwest, and I was captain of the trivia team in high school.
Ooh.
That's my fun fact. It's the dorkiest thing.
It's the most exciting fun facts.
All right, what category were you the best at in trivia?
Oh, literature. I can't even do long division. I'm not here for STEM at all.
I love it. So, what are you studying?
I am a double major in English and Spanish.
Cool. And what's your favorite dining hall?
I can't really give an opinion because I've never physically been in Worcester.
Okay.
So, between the three I have been to, Burke.
If you go to Worcester, go to the what's the one room? Do you know what I'm talking about? The room with the
international side, yeah.
The international side with the Asian food?
Okay,
That's the best part of Worcester.
My goal for college is to just never be in Worcester.
No, you have to go to that room, the one side. It's really good, but it's only open, I think, for lunch or early dinner. It has weird hours. You have to look it up. Okay. But it's so good. Highly
They also have a
recommend.
good mac and cheese bar.
Ooh. I'm lactose intolerant.
Me too.
So.
That's not me.
Why are you living your life this way?
I always live my life on the edge. Obviously, my
Wow,
listeners
you're like
know
Vin
that.
Diesel.
So, one of the things that Sophie and I have in common is that we are both out-of-state students, and we thought this would be a cool thing to start the podcast off with. So, Sophie, tell us a little bit about your experiences of being an out-of-state student at UMass, specifically because you're a freshman. You've only been here for, 3 or 4 weeks? You know, the whole first month is kind of difficult for new students. So, can you just, tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's been just under a month, and I'm getting used to it, definitely. It's really hot, unseasonably hot, so that's, throwing me off a little bit because I actually, I'm from Long Beach, New York, which is a little barrier island just south of Long Island. So I'm used to a little bit of breeze pretty consistently just because I live 2 minutes walk away from the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little, the stale air is a little weird for me, but everyone's like, get ready for winter! New England winters are so cold! And it's just been, sweltering.
That's so funny. So how have you been adapting going to a state school that's mostly Massachusetts students?
I don't really mind it. My roommate's actually also from out of state. She's from California,
cool.
So we've been sticking together, which is really nice. Our hall is very close because we did a rap, so we actually have to, stick together, talk about homework and stuff. And we just all bonded pretty much immediately. It's been really good. There's a pretty weird proportion of us that are out of state. There's kids from Jersey, from Pennsylvania, from California, another New Yorker. Actually, the kid who lives across the hall from me is from 15 minutes away from me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were actually counselors for the same kids, camp counselors. I was a counselor at a camp in 2015, and he was a counselor at the same camp in 2017 for just, the same group, just 2 years older.
That's really cool.
That's pretty neat.
That's really neat.
What rap are you in?
I am in the constitutional law, political science rap.
Okay.
Cool.
So, the only English major. It's just me.
But you enjoy it?
I do.
That's really cool. What class do you take for that? Is it
Intro to constitutional law.
Do you know who or you know who the
Yes,
professor
I do
is?
know who the
Who's the professor?
We've met a couple times. His name is Wouter van Erve, and he is very Dutch.
Oh!
Yeah, I know. You
I
guys
think
should
he was
bond.
a TA for my American Foreign Policy class, actually.
He's a pretty young dude.
Well, it's really interesting to hear that you actually have, such a mix of people,
Mm-hmm.
because, my experience was super different. I had a lot of people from, the same town in Massachusetts, and people would really stick together with their friends from home and all that. Have you experienced any of that kind of thing, kind of cliquishness? Because I really experienced that a lot, so maybe it might be different with your incoming class.
I don't know that I'd call it a clique necessarily, but there's 5 kids in my rap from Scituate.
Okay.
So they all know each other, but they're all super nice. There's really been very little in terms of exclusion.
Mm-hmm.
We all understand that we're pretty much in the same situation, whether we're from Mass or not.
Mm-hmm.
We're all in a new environment. We're all immersed in this period of transition, and we're all just trying to support each other. And I really, the vibes are really good in my dorm.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really good to have, I think, especially freshman year, because I feel like an old woman. I'm back in my day.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, freshman year. I used to come on podcasts freshman year.
Hey, I'm Jake, the producer for Emmi Beuger's Day Off. We apologize for the interruption in our recording studio, and we'll pick up 5 minutes from when we left off. Enjoy the show.
Do you have any Pennsylvania sayings that
Pop.
people don't say here, instead of soda?
Yeah.
I'm shaking my head.
Let's see. Water fountain, drinking fountain. They say bubbler.
They say bubbler?
Yeah,
Like
I've
here?
been made fun of so many times. My
You
roommate
say
is from New York.
bubbler?
You say bubbler?
Yeah.
Wait,
so
where
my-
in New York?
He's from Long Island. I forget.
Wait, yeah, you gotta
exactly
find out where.
Yeah, and then my roommate last year is from Paramus, New Jersey, and then I have
New
another
Jersey.
friend from New Jersey and a couple friends from Connecticut, and they all make fun of me for saying bubbler.
Yeah, because it's
It's
silly.
weird.
I
gonna
understand
make fun of
that
you
other
too,
people
Jake.
don't use it, but it's what everyone else says.
And
it's
then
a bubbler.
what?
Though we also use water fountain. It's just bubbler is another word for it.
Oh, I've never heard
And then
bubbler until just now.
tag sale. People say tag sale instead of garage sale.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing either. till I
Yeah,
came here.
and
I
then
don't know- I don't think I've ever said the word
and then
tag sale.
roundabouts, rotaries.
Oh yeah, where I'm from,
That one's really messed with me. It
I
confused
say
me.
round. There's another word for it. I think some people say
Rotunda,
turnaround.
turnaround. I've heard that.
I say roundabout.
No, the one I get most in trouble for though is pop.
Oh, here's something. So I'm in Spanish phonetics, which is a lot. It's a class, and it's right now we're talking about homonyms, or not
Yeah.
homonyms, homophones,
Uh-huh.
and just the way certain words can be spelled differently, sound the same. So how do you pronounce the name Mary?
Mary.
How do you pronounce the word Marry?
Mary.
I don't. I say marry. So everyone in the class was like, "Oh, I say Mary, Mary," and I said, "I say Mary, marry," and everyone's like, "Who are what? What's wrong with you?" And then there was COT. How do you pronounce that?
Caught.
And then how do you pronounce CAUGHT?
Caught.
Do you do the phlegm in the middle?
No.
Say it. Say caught. Say it. The two
Oh well,
cots.
I say cot like the bed you sleep on, and then if I'm feeling very New York, I might say caught instead of.
Oh, okay.
Instead of caught?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
it.
I don't say coffee though.
I wanted to ask you, do you say
No,
coffee?
I say coffee. I do not say dog. Yeah, I can do a good New York
Yeah,
accent
you're right.
because I
Your
grew up there.
accent's pretty
It doesn't
good.
come out
Yeah.
naturally.
But yeah,
Oh
no,
my
I
gosh.
yeah, speaking of accents, another I'm full of fun facts. But British people exhale more when they speak. If you had a British person and an American person say the same thing into a mirror, close to a mirror, it would fog up the glass differently. I took I did a theater seminar once, and there's an accent workshop, and they had us say this specific phrase, and once with an American accent, once with a British accent. They were like, if you say this, you'll feel it different on your hand.
Huh.
So I did it, and it felt different on my hand.
Amazing.
It's pretty weird.
Dutch
Imagine
accents are the best,
lab
though,
and the
guys.
experiment that they have people blowing up balloons while speaking.
That's amazing.
Ooh, yeah, we should do that. Let's set that up.
Oh, we should
Science.
film it.
Yeah.
All right,
boy.
so let's move on to some other stuff. So earlier at the Collegian, we were talking about that you're really into writing,
Mhm.
And then you've always been really into writing. So you found your way to us, and we're very happy that you did. So you want to tell us a little bit about how you went from your town to here, and then where the writing comes in.
So my town is, it's technically a city, but in terms of just people, it's a small town.
I guess I just used the word town for everything.
Yeah, no, but I wasn't correcting you. I just
Oh,
establishing.
okay.
I was just setting
Just
the
wanted
scene.
to make sure.
Yeah,
Set
but
the scene.
yes, this is the expository part of my story. But yeah, so there are 4 elementary schools, but 1 high school.
Mhm.
So everyone kind of converges into one place.
Yeah.
So in 8th grade, I auditioned for this class called Talented Writers, which is not a very good name. It's a very pretentious name. And I was just in it from 9th grade to 12th grade. And so I knew I wanted to pursue writing. The thing about wanting to pursue writing though is that there's no objective evidence that you're good at it, which is something that actually bothers me immensely about it, because if you're pursuing, for example, STEM, any STEM field, which I, by the way, respect very much. I think that it's very important. I just can't do it. But if you're good at science, you're good at science. If you're good at math, you're good at math. If you're if you're good at engineering, you're good at engineering. Writing, there's no objective scale or measure of quality.
It's all about how the reader and the editors
Yes.
perceive you or your teacher.
So, for example, I have been submitting writing places for years, a very long time. I've been submitting since I was about 15, and I'm 17 now, and I just got published for the first time.
Oh, wow. Is that the poetry one that you were
Yes.
telling me about?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's so cool. She got published in a poetry book.
I'm a published author. It's not a physical book. It's online. But
It's an online book.
yeah, you guys could read my poem on the internet.
It's cool, though. It's still,
It is cool.
that's still, really awesome. I think you should definitely keep trying, though. Because
Oh, no, yeah.
keep doing it.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. But then, I don't know a damn thing about journalism. I've just always been interested in it. Like, I read the newspaper pretty regularly. I like grew up with like the New York Times coming to my house every weekend, so I would read that. And I kind of just wanted to see what it was all about. And fun fact, my senior superlative in high school was most opinionated, aka biggest bitch, but same thing. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I could do op-ed. I could do that. And then it just really I really liked all the people I met. I met you, Emmi, I met Tess, I met Brad, and I really vibed with you guys. Like, I just really felt like it was a very nice space.
Yeah, we tried our best to like bring in people of like different places and different interests and try to make them feel welcome and try to get people to be creative and give us their opinions, because a lot of people have awesome opinions.
Oh yeah,
people have amazing opinions. Like
some people
writers,
have bad opinions.
Some people have bad opinions. That's okay too. We'll work with them. Like I mean, no, I'm not saying any of our writers have bad opinions. Cut that. I don't. You know what I mean? Like we don't have any bad opinions. But we're very happy. We were actually talking today about how we are very happy with a lot of our writers. We're very happy that we have a lot of interest in op-ed this year. It's been great.
That's really nice.
Yeah. But we're really happy to have you on. I'm glad. That's kind of cool though. That's really like good way to point out that it's a very like subjective field. And I feel like a lot of humanities kind of are like that too. Like there's certain standards, but I do agree with you that it's tough, especially when you're not in a university environment, to like be able to gauge that.
Anything creative, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
A good friend of mine from high school is at the Chicago the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, SAIC.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that they're incredibly talented, and I think that they think that too, but it's, how are they going to break through, into the art world?
Right.
Because they don't know for sure.
Right.
And, like, that's the thing also with, like, for example, there's this, Scholastic, like, the book fair?
Yes.
They have this art and writing competition every year for middle school and high school students. And you can get, like, crazy awards, like up to and including, like, $10,000.
Wow.
And, it's considered prestigious by some people. But then I did this writing mentorship in the summer of 2016. And I was like, hey, I've never been published, but I think, I'm doing pretty well for myself. Like, I got this pretty prestigious award from Scholastic. And they were like, yeah, Scholastic is BS. And I was like, oh God, okay. Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's I don't know how it is in any other community, but I do think that the writing community can be somewhat toxic. Mm-hmm. So that's hard too. It's hard to keep yourself confident. It's hard to keep yourself wanting to produce material.
I would absolutely agree.
Well, they're trying to justify their own space by tearing down others.
Yeah, no, definitely. But it's tough. Especially because I know I know a girl my age who's incredibly, unbelievably talented. She's had like 2 books published. Wow. She just recently won this like crazy award for some school in Pittsburgh. It might be UPitt.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But she's killing it, and like that's awesome. But I have to remember, like, she's doing really well, but I'm doing well in my own way too. And it just it doesn't make me a worse writer, and doesn't make my other friend a worse writer or a better writer. And it's just like but it's tough.
No, I agree, and I think in life in general, we always have that one like other people that you're always like, oh, they're doing this, but like you always have to like keep grounded in yourself. Yes. That's something I learned at college after my freshman year, so you're way ahead of me on that one.
Well, actually, my one of my best friends is a year older than I am. He goes to Columbia University.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And his sister also goes to Columbia University. She's also a very good friend of mine, and they're super duper smart, and I grew up with them. I met them when I was 5, so I've kind of always had to be like, look, you're never going to be as smart as Lexi and Jonathan. Like, look, you got to just deal with it. So, right. Yeah, either you're going to have a complex for the rest of your life, or you're going to deal with it and move on.
Yeah, and then go on and do awesome things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, this takes us to our last thing we want to talk about, because today we found out that we both love Trevor Noah and John Oliver.
I love Trevor Noah
and comedy shows about the news and politics. So we want to talk a little bit about how we learn a lot from those, as well as they're hilarious. So take it away, talking about Trevor Noah.
I knew Trevor Noah before he was a host of The Daily Show. Like, I don't want to be like a hipster, but like how I knew him before he was
Drop that one in there.
No, I mean, like I was aware of him.
She's an OG fan.
I am an OG fan. Yeah, no, I was aware of him before he was a host of The Daily Show. He had
really
a special.
Stand-up.
Sorry?
I'm sorry. Yeah, you had really good stand-up.
Yeah, his stand-up special, which I forget what it's called right now.
Where he goes back to South Africa.
No, that's the documentary. You Laugh But It's True.
That one, yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's really good. But then he also had a stand-up special, which was really about his journey, like coming to America and like kind of embracing his identity, as like being a Black American versus being like a Black South African, and it's just like really, really, oh, I'm bleeding. Really, really
Oh my
cool.
gosh.
It's all good. Like, really cool, really interesting. And then he had another stand-up special pretty recently called Afraid of the Dark, or Scared of the Dark, which is also really good. But anyway, I knew who he was. When I found out he was hosting The Daily Show, I was psyched because I knew who he was. I just thought it was really neat. He seems like a really cool guy.
That's awesome.
That's actually my dream job. Is
Yeah,
host
you
of The
told
Daily
me
Show.
that. That's so cool. You gotta get on as a correspondent, and then you can have your own show. Yeah, I think it's just really funny because we were talking earlier about how these comedy shows are actually sometimes more informational and educational than
Yes.
like watching the actual news.
I 100% agree with that. I think that's partially, and I've been thinking about this since we discussed it a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
News shows have more of an agenda.
Right.
Because they know who their audience is. And while certainly late night talk shows do also have an agenda, they're much more invested in entertaining, whereas news is definitely interested in informing, but also more interested in telling people what they want to hear.
Right.
So, like, for example, Fox, which has, by and large, a conservative following, yes, their responsibility is to inform that audience, but it also is to
cater to that audience.
Exactly. So while late night talk shows, I would say, lean liberal, their responsibility is much more to entertain, so they have a lot more leeway in what they can and can't say.
Right. And I think it's just I just think it's really funny that, like, I was telling you earlier, at a young age, I was more informed about politics than, like, most of my peers because I'd watch SNL with my parents and I'd watch, like, The Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
When I was, like, I'd stay up and watch it, like, watch the recordings with it because my parents, none of us watch it live.
Oh, yeah, no, I watched The Daily Show the next day.
We get too tired. I don't
yeah.
know. But I think it's, like, really interesting how that form of entertainment has, like, led to a rise of, like, some people being, like, super informed or more informed than they might have been otherwise. I don't know if you agree with that, but
no, I think that's definitely true. It definitely makes things more palatable, especially right now since, like, the country's kind of on fire. It's definitely easier to swallow things when they come with, like, I guess the spoonful of sugar being, like, a joke, whereas on the news it's just like everything is so bad right now.
Breaking news. This is happening.
Breaking news. Everything sucks.
Right. I totally agree with that. All right, so you were giving me lots of recommendations. Like, every time I talk to you, you're always like, read this, listen to this is awesome. And I'm like, oh my gosh, so many things. So you're, like, super good at, like, recommending. So any recommendations of, like, books, podcasts, TV shows, movies, articles, books, TV shows, movies, podcasts, whatever, for our listeners.
Well, actually,
I think I said all those twice. But
we talked about our shared love of John Mulaney. So two John Mulaney things.
Okay.
Did you watch Oh Hello?
No, I haven't.
Okay, do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's on Netflix.
Okay.
It's super funny. It's John Mulaney and Nick Kroll play two old men in New York City. It's really funny. They have a guest on every live show. So the Netflix show, it's Steve Martin. John Mulaney and Nick Kroll also have an animated TV show, which I think just came out on Netflix. It's called Big Mouth. It's supposed to be very funny.
Ooh.
I also highly recommend the stand-up of Pete Holmes, which is on Spotify. He has 3 albums.
Cool.
And the stand-up of Kumail Nanjiani. He is a Pakistani comedian who is also on Silicon Valley and recently in the movie The Big Sick, which is very good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. She knew that, like, really quickly. Have you seen the Kroll show with Publicity? Oh my gosh, guys. You need to look it up. It's so funny. It's him playing a girl named Liz with his business partner who's also named Liz, who's played by the girl who played Mona Lisa on Parks and Rec.
Oh my god.
Jen something.
Yeah, we all
know. Yeah, her. Oh my gosh, she's so funny. So that is so funny. So I would highly recommend that. Mm-hmm. And then you were telling me about Pope Francis has a Spotify.
Pope Francis does have a Spotify.
Everyone check that out because he's an amazing human, and that makes me very happy. Mm-hmm. So thank you for coming on. This was really fun. We were a little, all over the place, but, like, it was an interesting conversation. I learned lots of things. I always learn new things when I talk to you, like, all the time. That's why I'm so glad you wanted to come on. Jake, anything you gotta say?
No, I
Great.
don't. Well, I have lots of things to say, but no time to say them.
Someday we will have time for Jake to say things.
Sweet.
Maybe next week. We're going to put Jake in the hot seat next week, and I'm going to grill him with questions. It's going to be great.
Speaking of, really fast, one more thing.
Yes.
There's a YouTube series called Hot Ones with Sean Evans. It's where this guy Sean Evans interviews people while they eat increasingly spicy wings. It's really funny.
That sounds like
They've
my
had some
kind
good
of
people
show.
on it.
My kind of show.
Oh, we should
do
take
that.
the whole idea to get some wings over Amherst.
Sean
I
Evans,
love
if you're
wings
listening,
over.
sorry.
I love wings over. It's so
I
good.
love spicy food, so I would
do
love
not.
to have that be my interrogation.
What kind do you get from wings over?
I like the hot garlic because I think it's the tastiest, but
Ooh.
I've done the super hot ones just because my friends think it's funny, just to see how hot can Jake go with the spice.
I
It's
like jet fuel.
As hot as you want, it just gets sweatier.
The jet fuel buffalo is like the third hottest buffalo. It's good because it's hot but not painful, so you can still enjoy it.
Yeah, you should definitely then watch Hot Ones because it's funny to watch people in pain.
Yeah, we're gonna do that with Jake next week.
Oh,
So stick
sweet.
around.
As long as
This
the
has
wings are not with
been
me.
this has been Emmi Beuger's Day Off. Thank you, Sophie, for coming on. Thank you, Jake, for being awesome and helping me set up this recording because I literally would have no idea how to do this.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, of course, anytime. And that has been Emmi Beuger's Day Off. We will see you, and you can listen to me next week.